Blanca of Castile, the ruler of France, stood before the council clad in a simple linen shift. The fabric, though sheer, was opaque enough to conceal her body, yet it was clear that the widow of King Louis VIII was not expecting a child. This meant that all the unpleasant rumors circulating about her were mere gossip. A sigh of relief swept through the room. The queen's reputation remained untarnished. Blanca became the Queen of France by sheer chance. In the 1200th year, among the two daughters of the Castilian king, the initial choice fell on the other, more beautiful sister. However, the name of that girl, Urraca, raised eyebrows, as it sounded like magpie in French, leading to her rejection. Thus, it was Blanca who journeyed to Paris, adorned with a gleaming golden crown. She had always been intelligent and excelled in her studies. In France, Blanca continued her education and blossomed into one of the most learned women of her time. While not as striking as her sister, she was still quite beautiful. So when the queen became a widow, many anxiously speculated about her next moves. What if this not-so-old sovereign decided to take a lover? And what if that lover began to exert influence over the state's politics? The rumors didn't arise from nowhere. Blanca had a devoted admirer named Thibaut IV, Count of Champagne. Although he was 12 years her junior, he was deeply infatuated with her. The common folk of Paris even began to whisper. Had Thibaut poisoned their sovereign to get closer to his beloved Blanca? Perhaps the count should have acted more discreetly, but instead, he only stoked the flames of public distrust. A romantic at heart, a true troubadour, he composed songs in honor of the queen and sang them to her delight. At the coronation of Blanca's son, the new ruler, the crowd of citizens barred Thibaut from entering. They shouted at him, "Scoundrel!" and "Get out of the city." Realizing that things could turn violent, the heir to Champagne fled to Troyes, shaking with indignation. After all, the queen had done nothing to protect him. In truth, Blanca had little concern for Thibaut of Champagne's feelings. After the coronation of Louis IX, she was openly asked whether the widow was having an intimate relationship with the count. And if so, was she pregnant? The question was offensive and utterly unacceptable, but the queen knew that this was not the time for anger. She needed to prove her innocence against all the accusations leveled at her. A great deal was at stake. If the queen were found to be with child, it would mean the rumors were true. In that case, Blanca could be ousted from power, leaving her young son under the regency of another. A physical examination was proposed. In these rather tactless times, the Queen of France was treated with great gallantry. She was to appear in nothing but a shift, ensuring that there would be no room for doubt. The queen didn't bat an eye. She simply ordered the fireplace to be stoked well so she wouldn't be cold. At the appointed hour, the peers of France, clergy, and a few close ladies-in-waiting arrived. Blanca of Castile awaited them in a long cloak, and at the right moment, she let it fall so everyone could see her clearly. "The body of the queen belongs to France," Blanca of Castile said softly. That was enough. No matter what songs Thibaut of Champagne sang or how he sighed in her presence, Queen Blanca effectively silenced all rumors, at least among the nobility. Unfortunately, on the streets, the whispers continued to shame the queen. By the way, after being banished from the coronation, Count Thibaut joined the rebellion against the crown. But Blanca managed to negotiate a treaty with the vassals. Peace was restored. The poet returned to Paris, and he continued to write odes to his beloved. It was as if he didn't notice that the queen was aging and was no longer as beautiful as she once was. Soon, Thibaut of Champagne left the French capital. He inherited from his uncle and became the King of Navarre. There's a legend that he created a rose garden near his palace and even cultivated a special variety of these flowers named Queen Blanca. However, the queen no longer gave rise to gossip. She focused solely on state affairs, ruling alongside her son, who often departed for the Crusades. Her body still belonged solely to France.